Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be what I did in a week video. So today, it's Saturday and I'm making a compost tea. So since last time I didn't show you how I did that, I'm going to show you the ingredients I used today. Because I already got everything going. So yeah, let me just show you that right now. Alright YouTube, so here's how the compost tea is looking so far. Um, I bought this like a couple of years ago. This I bought last year. And then the pump I also bought last year. With this I bought separately from the pump, but I think there is some way you can buy it together. But either way, I made my own compost. I'll link at the end of this at the end of the video of this video on the compost that I made if you want to see how my compost looks like. It's not the best thing ever, but it's not the worst. And I think I mentioned in a video on how I'm going to use it afterwards. But yeah, in there I also put a Dr. Earth fertilizer, the 222 or the 444. Either way, I put that in there, and some other inoculants I put. I put a mycorrhizal inoculant, and I also put fish emulsion and organic liquid kelp. The kelp is for the sea minerals and all the stuff that my compost may not have, and the fish emulsion is so it's a mycorrhizal food, so that's a good thing to use. And since this was made, well, this came from T Lab. I don't know how we can see that. But it's T Lab, and they also sent me something with this, and I've been using that too. I'm gonna show you that right now. All right, YouTube. So they call this Beetlejuice, but it's basically Isocrast, as you can see right there. And it says 1/4 cups for every 5 gallons. Um, I am using 4 gallons, so technically I'm using slightly bit more than when necessary. But either way, I think this would make. I don't know how well you can read this, but um, it's supposed to improve the quality of my crops. So hopefully, uh, with my corn or whatever else I got growing, it'll do a lot better. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on that. All right, YouTube. So it's been about 24 hours since I started this compost tea. Depending whether you are, it might take a little bit longer or shorter. Right now is like optimal time for me to make compost tea, so it's not too hot, it's not too cold. So yeah, these bubbles are hopefully to help my the tea help attach onto the leaves on the when I spray it on. All right, I'm gonna put this in a sprayer and start spraying it. All right, YouTube. So I want to do a quick update on these seedlings. You can see these are doing way better than these. I think these are doing better because I planted them a little bit later than I did these. I planted like a month early. I can't remember, but I do see more seedlings coming up. So maybe they're just slower to come up, but we'll see. Even though they're growing in compost, just straight worm castings, I'm gonna add some compost tea to help them, to hopefully help them grow a little bit faster. Even though these are doing really well anyway, I really want to give them an extra boost, make sure they're nice and healthy. All right, I'm gonna show you. Well, I'm gonna do that right now. All right, YouTube. So I cleared my sprayer, so hopefully it sprays a lot better than the last video did. Either way, I'm gonna give them a good drink. I might have to bottom water also because it is gonna be warm today, about 80 degrees. I think 87. So we're gonna also give it a bottom watering as well as this compost tea, just to help them out a little bit more. By the way, I forgot to mention that I added in the compost tea some aloe vera. So basically, I grow my own aloe vera, and I just took a leaf, blended it, and added it into the compost tea. Basically, in the filter bag that I showed you guys earlier, I added in there so the any big particulates won't go into the compost tea, and it'll be easy to spray like this. And I think that's gonna help with the compost tea to get into the leaves because the bubbles, I think it came mostly from the aloe vera instead of like the bacteria or whatever. It might be a little bit also, but I think it's mostly from the aloe vera. And aloe vera has a lot of nutrients and minerals and stuff like that, so it's a good thing to use for your seedlings or any fruit trees or whatever. Because if you notice, aloe vera doesn't have any natural predators. They don't really get sick from anything, so um, it's a great way to protect your seedlings also. So at least that's what I saw on the internet. So we're gonna try it out, and that's basically one side done. Now we're gonna do the pepper side, and because I don't want to keep you here for a long time, I'm just gonna fast forward this, or you can skip it. It doesn't matter. All right, guys. So here's the orange tree. It's nice and tall. It's growing on tons of flowers. So right now, I'm gonna give it a compost tea to hopefully help it grow better citrus. And with all the flowers growing, I can already smell the orangey smell of this orange tree and some of the lemon of this Myers lemon. All right, I'm gonna start spraying it down. This citrus tree is struggling a little bit, but it's not too bad. I do see a little bit of yellowing, but hopefully, again, with this compost tea, it'll be helping it go through whatever it's going through. I don't know if it's because I'm not watering enough or if I'm watering too much. I wish I took the soil. That'd be my first indicator, obviously. So after I'm done spraying this, I'll check on the soil to see if I need to add more or less. Because it is possible to give your citrus trees too much water, especially if they're in containers. Okay, just checking the soil. Okay, with doing that, basically it's telling me I need to add more water because I put like about an inch on my finger, like about to here, and it was dry. I probably could have gone deeper and see if it was still more water, but probably do that after just to make sure. All right, YouTube. So I don't know if you saw last week's video, but I replanted some of these pepperoni peppers. I didn't touch over here. I replanted these, I believe, and these peppers. So I could tell this pepper is growing uh, basically 1 week out. So I'm pretty happy with that. There's one right here. I could barely see one right here too. So either way, I'm gonna give them all a compost tea. Just because these look sad, so I don't know if I can save those, but we'll see. Alright, YouTube, so here's the apple tree. I don't know if you can tell the difference between last week and this week. I can't tell, so you probably can't tell either. But if you can tell, let me know if you see a difference, because I personally don't. Except for these flowers are starting to bloom. They might be going to fruit right now, so right now is an excellent time to give them compost tea. I think by next week I'll be also adding some calcium into the compost tea, and I basically bought a pre-made calcium thing. If you know how to make your own liquid calcium, you can use that instead. But I don't, and I didn't want to take the time to learn to make it, so I decided just to buy a pre-made calcium additive or supplement. And because trees need a lot of calcium, I'm gonna start adding calcium to all of my trees, especially citrus trees. I think citrus need way more calcium, but don't hold me to that. I'm not sure actually. I have to look it up and find out. But right now, we're just gonna do the last flowering tree that I have, and then whatever compost tea I have left, I'm just gonna use it as a soil drench for all the trees. Because usually I would make a compost extract, but since I have plenty of compost tea still, I'm gonna use the rest of it as a soil drench. So yeah, guys, these are the past 2 days that I did made the compost tea, and now I'm using it. So I'll be right back with you guys later on this week on what else I got going on. All right, YouTube. So Hawaiian, I mentioned before in this video, or before this week ends, I guess. Um, this sunflower is growing way thicker and taller than the other ones that I grew. You can see this one's actually what's it called? I didn't plant this one. Basically, what I'm trying to say. So this one's going way bigger and stronger compared to the ones I planted. See, mine is way smaller, but I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because it overwintered over here. But yeah, it's pretty exciting to see. All right, YouTube. So I just finished giving everything some compost tea. Here's how the bag looks like afterwards, and remnants of what it looks like inside. So yeah, I'm just gonna dump this into here, which is my worm bin. Is kept out of the sun. So I noticed that a lot of seeds are growing. Also, there was a lot of worms on top before I moved it at first. So again, I'm just dumping in here, and then probably add some leaf um, litter and maybe some other stuff. But I'll do that in a second. First, I'm gonna dump in the compost. All right, YouTube. So here's how the compost looks like. I dumped everything in, and in this container, I have my very own worm grit. Basically, it's just blending up eggshells and some old fertilizer. So I had some bone meal that I had for a couple of years, and I wasn't using it for anything. So I decided just to mix it in here, and hopefully with the eggshells and the bone meal, the worms will make it more readily available to my plants. At least that's what worms are supposed to do. If you didn't know, if you had some soluble or insoluble fertilizers, you could put it through your worm castings or your worms first. Like they eat it first, and then it'd be more readily available to your plants. So that's my hopes for this fertilizer and the eggshells. The eggshells is mostly for grit, and the bone meal so I can use it. And because I did add a bunch of compost, I want to add a bunch of bedding. So I last year I mulched up some leaves. You can see it's really fine, or at least a lot of it is. So I'm gonna put a pretty good amount of leaf mulch in here because worms go crazy for leaf mulch. I've noticed every time I would open this after adding some leaves, they would be all over it. And I'm gonna pause this video for a second because I forgot to bring in coffee grounds. Coffee grounds are great for your worm bin also. So before I cover everything, I'm gonna bring that outside. All right, so I found a couple of bananas that no one ate, so they just started rotting on the counter. So instead of just leaving it there, I'm just gonna put it in the worm bin because apparently worms go crazy for bananas also. And here's the coffee grounds I've been saving for about a month. Probably way too long to save these, but it is what it is. This is a great nitrogen source if you need it for your compost pile, but I'm just gonna use it for my worm bin just because I can. Like I said, because it is a good nitrogen source, and I want to make sure my plants get enough nitrogen. Obviously, this won't be ready until another year, but that's okay. So the leaves are extremely dry, and So with some of the coffee grounds, because they've been there for a month. So I do have a little bit of compost tea to add in here, just because for my compost tea bag, it was basically dripping out. So I saved it, and here's how it looks like. So this is basically everything I had in that compost. So there should be minerals from the seaweed or the sea or the kelp extract. If I need to, I add more water. But yeah, there should be kelp extract. There should be fish emulsion. The compost that I made that I put in here, obviously, and then some aloe vera that I added last night to help with more minerals. So yeah, since I don't want to make this video too long, I'll probably water this in a little bit later. But for right now, I am done with this part of the video. Alright YouTube, so for this part of the video, I want to show you how I clean a compost bag. As you can see, it's really dirty. It's kind of slimy from the aloe vera. I'm not used to putting aloe vera, so that's why it feels slimy. Plus, if you know anything about aloe vera, the gel is really slimy. And yeah, we're using hydrogen peroxide to help clean it. There's two ways you can clean it, and the other way is the free way, I guess. And that's just leaving it in the sun for a day or two. Especially if you live in a hot area like I do in the desert, you can do it that way. Or you can just, but if you want it done more quickly, you can just add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide and then add some water to help clean it. I didn't add too much hydrogen peroxide because I don't want to waste it all. Got myself wet. You don't need too much. And you just basically how I clean it. Again, if you want to do the solarization instead, you're basically just trying to kill the microbes from here, from the tea bag, because you want to make sure it's nice and clean for the next time you use it. So either way you do it, it should be fine. I have done solarization before, and it works pretty well in my opinion. But like I said, if you live in a colder area and you need to use it for the next day, this way is better for the quickness at least. But let's say you're like me, you make compost tea once a week, then you just leave it in the sun for that week, and all the microbes that you brewed up should be dead from in here. But maybe you just want to be safe just in case they survive somehow, then yeah, you can just do this. Okay, so now I'm just gonna let this dry in the sun because I want to really. And the sprayer I used, I'm gonna probably do the same thing. Just add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, a little bit of water, and then spray it out with the nozzle because there's compost tea in the nozzle. Now with the water, I don't know if it's usable, so I just dump it out in a place that's not growing anything right now. So yeah, we'll see if if the Bermuda grass still lives or not. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for today. So again, I'll be right back for when I do something else in the garden. All right, YouTube. So I thought I was gonna do more for this week, but I don't really have much else to do for this week at least. So I guess that's the end of today's video. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.